Coming up, it's time to make a call. Tell your friends it's time to watch before you buy.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit. Bandwidth for Before You Buy is brought to you by Cashfly at CACHEFLY.com. Before You Buy is brought to you by Audible.com. To download the free audiobook of your choice, visit audiblepodcast.com/before you buy. Whoa, 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 ging, ging, ging. Hey, welcome to Before You Buy, the Twit product review show where we get the latest and greatest stuff in and get our crack team of entertainers to review, to try, to enjoy these devices, then give you their points of view. A lot of phones. We got a couple of phones. We've got a speakerphone system and a Lenovo computer laptop coming up in just a bit. But let's start with Padre, SJ, Father Robert Ballister. Congratulations on being featured on the Fox News show.
That's right. I tweeted out. They trolled themselves, actually. So that's
because we've all been talking about the new Pixel Perfect displays they have in the what was it Shepherd Smith Shepherd
Fox
Shepherd
Pie Shepherd.
What does the Fox? Anyway, that guy, his new show, and they've got very big Pixel Perfect displays, 55-inch displays, and the people are sitting right there. And when you look at the set, it looks like they're not big displays. They look like iPad-sized displays with really tiny people.
Oompa Loompas, basically.
And that's what you observed on Twitter.
I just thought they had hired a bunch of really small staffers. I mean, can you imagine the savings of buying regular iPads and just hiring small people? They don't eat that much.
So Shepard Smith mentioned it. He actually showed your tweet. And we're watching the video and said, wait, it says at Padre SJ. We know him. That was awesome. Congratulations.
That was fun. That was fun.
Your claim to fame. There it is.
Yeah.
They're Perceptive Pixels. That's the name of it. Not Pixel Perfect. Perceptive Pixel.
I still say they're small people.
They look like they're kind of small.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to be blind. They keep looking at getting that close. Didn't your mom tell you that? Don't get so close to the TV. You'll go blind. So we asked Father Robert Ballister, host of This Week in Enterprise Tech, Know-How. And we're working on the name for the programming show. I have some ideas for you.
But we are full steam ahead on that. That's really close. We're actually going to start a couple of beta episodes.
We want you to do that sooner than later.
Yeah.
We've got advertisers interested. I'm interested. So what is that you're holding? This is something new from Plantronics.
Yeah, so we saw these at CES. This is called the Legend UC. This is a Bluetooth headset, which, okay, that's not that sexy. There's a lot of Bluetooth headsets. But this one sounds exceptionally good. I mean, this is probably the best sounding headset I've ever tried. And it's got a couple of really cool UC features for, business travelers. And then this is their Bluetooth speakerphone. So the idea is if you're using Skype, if you're using a soft phone, you just put this in the middle of a table, and this little device will fill a room and has some really cool tricks with its microphones to give you that speakerphone experience.
Let's take a look.
The Voyager Legend UC and Callisto 620 are Bluetooth-equipped, unified communications-enabled devices from Plantronics, designed primarily for the on-the-go professional who is looking for high-quality sound, UC functionality, and portability. The UC designation of both the Callisto and the Legend means that in addition to connecting to your mobile device, PC or Mac laptop or desktop, they are designed to integrate with soft phones from Avaya, Cisco, IBM, Skype, Polycom, and a host of other manufacturers. In other words, they've got the business traveler in mind. The Callisto 620 is a palm-sized speakerphone weighing in at about half a pound. It can connect to any Bluetooth-equipped device and comes with its own USB dongle, secured in a slot at the bottom of the unit. It also features A2DP, which allows it to be used as a mono speaker with your media streaming device of choice. Using the Callisto is simple. There are 4 buttons on the face of the unit that handle volume, mute, and call pickup. 2 rows of LEDs indicate charge and Bluetooth connectivity status. On the side of the unit is a single 3-position switch that controls power and Bluetooth pairing. Power is provided by a non-removable battery or a standard micro USB port that also provides charge. Our test showed an average talk time of 6 to 8 hours and several days of standby. The Callisto features full duplex 360-degree audio and directional microphones that are only activated towards the individual or individuals who are speaking. If you're using the included dongle, the Callisto also activates PC wideband audio and uses digital signal processing that cancels echoes, reduces dropouts, and cuts ambient noise. The Plantronics Voyager Legend UC is an in-ear Bluetooth headset that features an adjustable boom mic, customizable earbuds, and sound quality that is without a doubt the best of any Bluetooth headset I've ever tested. The Legend is contained within a pillbox carrying case that protects the headset and USB dongle. The case also acts as a portable battery and charger for the headset, meaning that putting the headset back into the case will charge the former, and plugging a micro USB cable into the case will charge both. Perhaps understanding that power is the Achilles heel of any wireless device, Plantronics also includes ways to charge the headset when it's not in the carrying case. A USB base lets you charge the Legend when it's at your desk, while a small magnetic attachment can charge the device on the road. Once undocked, the Legend has enough battery life for 4 to 5 hours of talk time. The headset itself is a decent piece of engineering. It's marvelously flexible, and the earpiece can pivot to either side for left or right ear use. On the back of the unit are power and volume switches, while the call, answer, and mute buttons are located behind and below the boom mic. The Legend also features a capacitive touch smart sensor that can determine if you're wearing the headset. When you are, it will automatically answer incoming calls, transfer active calls from your phone, or resume audio streaming. When you take off the headset, it will automatically transfer calls back to your phone, pause audio streaming, and lock the call button to prevent accidental dialing. I found the Calisto to be a solid conferencing device, even if the mono sound didn't impress me for anything but casual podcast listening. The Legend UC is a phenomenally good sounding headset that I found comfortable and designed just right. The ability to use Bluetooth or the included dongle on both products is a big plus, as is the DSP enhanced audio and the functionality of the Spokes control program. The Calisto and the Legend may be just the thing for the business traveler. The Plantronics Calisto and Legend UC are available now. You can find either for about $120.
They're both sold separately. You don't need one to use the other.
Correct, right.
Yeah.
These are individual units, and I like the fact that there's a lot of connectivity options. Not only is it Bluetooth, but you've got this dongle for the people who may want to plug it into their computer, and it actually enables more functions when you have this connected to a PC. Oh, now I noticed in the chat room there are some people who kind of balked at that this is a mono speaker. Yeah, it is a mono speaker.
Yeah, and so music's not ideal.
Yeah, but it's not bad. I mean, this thing actually has...
Let's hear it. It's usable.
It's usable. I mean, if you're on the road, if this is what you have for listening in your hotel room, this is not bad. And then when you actually use it for its intended purpose, which is as speakerphone, it's really, really good.
Is it better than something like the Jambox, which is a better speaker?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
I guess it depends what you need. Do you need a speakerphone that's an okay speaker, or a good speaker that's a decent, okay speakerphone?
Yeah. So and the thing that makes this such a good speakerphone are the directional mics. They turn on and off based on what it's hearing.
So it'd be great for a conference.
It's really good for a conference. Right. Now, I will say that there is a complaint, and I did verify it. Some devices, I don't know why, but some devices, when they're using the Bluetooth connection, it sounds crunchy.
Right.
It artifacts really bad. In fact, an iPhone 3GS and iPhone 4S both sounded horrible, but on my Galaxy S4, it sounds really good.
That might be an older Bluetooth headset
Bluetooth
profile.
standard.
Yeah.
Right. So that, I'd say, is a try. Just because you only want to buy it if it's actually what you're going to do. If you're looking for a portable speaker, don't get this. If you want a speakerphone that you can also use as a speaker, then yes, it's a good deal.
And particularly if you have more than one person on the call.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, it sounds like a great idea.
Now, like I said before, the Legend, this thing I really like. I thought I was going to hate it because it is big. I mean,
well, it's two things I like. The big means better battery life, and that's the thing behind your ear. And it has a boom, so it's closer to your mouth than a lot of Bluetooth headsets, which are just basically picking up whatever the ear gets.
So you get much better sound isolation. The person on the other side of the call isn't hearing everything. He's only hearing your voice. The other thing is, and I know some people are saying, wait a minute, only 4 or 5 hours of talk time. The case is a battery.
Oh,
so when you put that thing back in the case, it charges the headset.
Nice.
That's cool. Which is that's a little cool feature, and it keeps everything nice and protected and all in one place. That is absolutely a buy. The noise cancellation, the audio quality is great. It's got an innovative case, plenty of charging options. I'd say the only con would be price. Some people are going to balk at $120.
Yeah, although. I think some people will want something smaller too, but I think $120 is a good price to pay for a good Bluetooth headset. You can pay a lot less, but sometimes they don't sound that good. I think Plantronics knows what they're doing in this stuff. Yeah, thank you, Father Robert. It's always good to have you. Father Robert Ballister is the host of This Week in Enterprise Tech on Mondays, and of Know How on Thursdays, and soon some other stuff on our
Stay
network.
tabbed.
Stay tabbed? Stay tabbed. That's what you say now.
Yes.
Not stay tuned.
No,
stay tabbed.
Stay tabbed.
Keep us in your tab.
generation.
It's a new gen. You're so young and with it. You're so hip.
I know.
You're so
hip.
Yeah, he's
I am hip, yo.
Yeah.
I'm like street.
Yo, yo, yo. Our show today brought to you by Audible.com, the great place to go when you want an audio book. I just bought 2 new audiobooks. You know, I was doing the Audible ad on the Gizmos, and I saw, I got 2 credits every month. I love it. When the month, it's on the 22nd of the month, I get my new credits at Audible.com. And I saw 2 new things that I'm very interested in. You know, the Ender's Game movie is coming out any minute now, right? Is it November 1st? It's soon. And I noted that Audible now has, they've had the 20th anniversary edition of Ender's Game, which was very good and I own, but they now have a brand new edition of Ender's Game that is a performance. So all the voices are acted out. And it really reminds me of how good audiobooks are. You can go see the movie, and you'll probably love the movie, but I got to say, if you listen to it's called Ender's Game Alive, the full cast audio play, 7 hours, 24 minutes. So it's a dramatization of Ender's Game. I think this is going to happen in your mind, and there's no movie set as good as what your mind can construct. That's what I love about audiobooks. They really bring these books to life. They've got great readers, science fiction, nonfiction. I listen to a lot of history.
Can I make a recommendation?
Yeah, what are you listening to?
I just finished an audiobook called Unknown Pleasures, and it's the story of Joy Division.
I thought it was my first marriage.
Oh, no.
Okay. Ba-da-bum.
It's narrated and written by the bassist, Peter Hook. Gives you kind of like the inside history of Ian Curtis and the whole story of Joy Division. It was captivating. I could not stop listening to it. Wow. It was awesome because he's got this really just kind of rich, seasoned voice to him, and you know it's told from his perspective. It's just fantastic kind of autobiography.
If you're a fan of Joy Division, you'll want it. He reads it, which is great.
Yeah.
That's the name of one of their best-known albums, Unknown Pleasures, and I noticed that they also have part of the 33 1/3 series. This is something they do for a lot of albums. They have the Joy Division's Unknown Pleasures. Basically, it's the story of the making of that album, and now it's by somebody else, not by.
This is different.
Yeah, it's different.
Yes, they do.
But they have
do
both of these,
as well.
and these 33 1/3 are great. I don't know if people know about them, but if you're a fan of a great album, Nirvana's In Utero or whatever, you can listen to the making of the album, and it really brings these albums. The Beatles' Let It Be is a 33 1/3. It's just fabulous. See, there's so many reasons to love Audible. Here's the deal. We're going to give you a free book. How about that? Go to audiblepodcast.com/beforeyoubuy. audiblepodcast.com/beforeyoubuy. You'll be signing up for the gold account, book a month. Your first month is free, though. Cancel anytime in the first 30 days. You'll pay nothing, but that book is yours to keep forever. And the challenge is going to be picking the book. So many wonderful books out there. I'm a big fan. audiblepodcast.com/beforeyoubuy. If you love music, Audible is a great play. I like to you know what I do is I like to listen to Keith Richards' book, My Life.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Great book. And then what I did is I bought most of the Rolling Stones music
And
that
you
he
listen
talks
to the
about,
music?
and I listen to the
Yes.
music, then I listen to the book.
That's the way to do it.
He
on
talks
a lot
about,
of these.
you know, recording Exile on Main Street. They took over that French villa. So you listen to the song and you listen to more of the book. It's just great.
Yeah.
Audio, I love it. And you will love it too. audiblepodcast.com/beforeyoubuy. That's Jason Howell. I should have introduced you.
Hi.
Your voice, I'm sure, recognizable to everybody
You're
who
Jason Howell.
listens
That's
to All
me.
About
Sitting
Android,
here
or
since we started.
watches TNT. He's just been sitting there the whole time, just quietly observing.
Yep.
Yeah, we gave him some headphones. Now, you
No,
probably-
actually, my wife gave
what do
me
you-
these headphones.
Oh, so you own these.
I own these. I got these for my birthday. My birthday is mid-September, and my wife bought these for me. They're the Bose QuietComfort 20.
Now, we know the QuietComfort name because that is the noise-canceling over-the-ear headphones Bose made famous. But these are not those. These are in-ear headphones.
These are Bose's first in-ear noise-canceling headphones. So what you see right here, this is obviously the battery pack, and I'll get back to that in a second. It's active cancellation, so you've got the little
So
switch.
you charge that up before you go.
You do.
Yep.
There's a little micro USB slot right there. Takes about 2 hours to charge to full. They give it a life reported life of around 16 hours.
Enough for a long flight to Australia?
I will tell you something. I got these on September 11th. I've charged them after the initial charge, charged them once, and I use them all the time.
Cool. So you use them at home?
Yeah, I use them at home when I'm doing dishes.
If you've got kids, there's nothing like noise canceling headphones.
Shut it all out.
Going there.
Well, like at night, for instance, the kids are asleep. I'll throw them on and listen to that audiobook that I recommended.
Right.
I listened to it while I was doing the dishes. It shuts everything out. So when I first got these, I'm a big Bose fan, first of all. I have these right here as well. These are the non-noise canceling
Very similar
version MIE2s. They're pretty much the same kind for the most part, but without the noise cancellation and not as much of the isolation as far as the ear tips are concerned. You notice on these, they isolate as well because they
go
kind
right
of
into your
plug
ear.
right into your ear and block everything out. So the cool thing about these is that they're active, of course, when they're on. When they're off, they're completely passive.
But
so
you can continue to listen.
You can continue to listen. So even if your battery ran out, they become noise isolating. In other words, they block out the noise thanks to these little plugs. Cancellation does this inverted kind of waveform thing where it picks up with an external mic all the noise that surrounds you, inverts the polarity on that noise, and then channels it into your ear, so that noise pretty much goes away for the most part. When I first put these in and found out that they were $300, I told my wife, I was like, that's really expensive. I know I want to review these on Before You Buy. I'm going to put them through their paces, but that's really expensive for in-ear headphones, and I want to see, and I'm very familiar with the over-the-ear version, the QuietComfort 15. It really only took me a day to decide, like, okay, I'm keeping these. I'm not going to go for the over the ear. The cancellation is just that good.
Where does the it looks like they've got little ports on the back. That's where the noise that's coming in. The way noise canceling headphones work, they take the ambient sound,
right?
They flip the polarity on the sine wave, and then it cancels it out.
Yep.
So that must be where that sound's coming in from.
Yeah, and they're super comfortable. Bose does this with all their in-ear headphones. They give you kind of small, medium, and large. Right now I have it fit for medium, so it fits my ear canal pretty well.
That's good.
If you have larger ears or smaller ears, you can throw these in there, and they just fit right in there. I'll actually put them in right now, but then I'm not going to be able to hear you. So I put them in, turn them off, or turn them on. The quality of the sound that you hear when they're on is a little bit different. So when it's passive,
you notice
versus active,
I always feel like the air is being sucked out of my.
It feels like an overpressure sometimes.
Yeah, well, and that's one of the things I really like about these. The over-the-ear ones, I know a lot of people don't like them because when you turn them on, it's almost like you just got into an airplane and it sucked the air out, right? And it can kind of be a little disconcerting. These don't really do that, but they still give you the effective noise canceling.
Well, the nice thing about the earbuds, any earbuds that do noise cancellation, is the isolation is way greater than you'll ever get with an over-the-ear cup headphone.
Right.
So, I mean, right off the bat, it's reducing the amount of sound that's making it into your ears, and then just that little added bonus of the noise cancellation, and you've got yourself a pretty decent set of headphones.
Oh yeah, it's like two things battling external sound for the price of one, for the steep price of one. But $300 is the same cost as the over-the-ear model, so it's kind of your choice, like which one you want to go with.
It is the same price, yeah.
They're fantastic, and there's a little button on the side here. Of course, you have your external mic that's kind of built into the cable, so you can take calls. If I hit this, it's going to activate my my voice search on my phone. And then, of course, I can, stop and start play on audio and everything like that. This little button on the side here, this effectively, what do they call it? Aware mode, which essentially...
So you can hear the announcements, right?
Yeah, so this is basically turn cancellation off temporarily.
Right.
Your battery's still running and it's still, powered through here. But you can kind of turn it off. So if you're going to cross the street, I highly advise you turn it off because you might not hear that car speeding up on you.
Right.
And yeah, it's just really fantastic. So I've been incredibly impressed with these. Few things to note. First of all, one reason that I'm a big Bose fan is because their customer service is awesome. They have excellent customer service. If you tell them, you pay a lot for their products, at least for the headphones, which are the only products that I've ever had experience with Bose with. But you pay a lot for the product, but if something goes wrong with them, you can reach out to them, and many times they'll just replace it for free, or they'll replace it for $15 and you get the current model of it. Had that happen. I think I bought these 5 years ago on whatever model it was. And ever since then, I've never bought another pair.
Because they keep fixing them.
Because they keep just replacing them and saying, just give us $15 and we'll give you the current one.
That's great.
But the downside to that is that I've noticed a lot over time that their cables aren't necessarily always that durable over a long period of time, 1 to 2 years maybe. Often right here at the point of where the plug is in, and you're taking it out of your pocket all the time and everything, it faults. That's where we get back to these headphones and where I see not necessarily an issue right now, but potentially in a year. This huge battery pack and the short cable that goes from the battery pack into your phone, when this is all going into your pocket, it makes for something very kind of difficult to manage. You pull your phone out of your pocket, it unplugs, it twists right there at the corner. I see this as a potential issue long term, but it's hard to judge Bose, these headphones on that based on something that hasn't happened yet. So I'll just give that kind of general warning ahead of time.
Headphones take a lot of guff. They got to be tough.
Yeah, they have to be tough. And the battery is like one of the great things about this and one of the biggest frustrations about it. Because it's big and it's hard to manage. So like if you're going to the gym, these might not be the best headphones to take it to the gym, even though you want to because they sound so great.
Pros and cons.
Pros, the noise canceling is about as good as I've had experience with. Battery life is really impressive. I've only had to charge it once over the past month and a half, and I use these all the time. And the fact that it can kick into passive mode when the battery
really
runs out
means
that you're never without headphones.
Right.
The cons, the battery's, of course, bulky. Pricey for in-ear headphones, but if you're comparing it to noise-canceling headphones and high-quality noise-canceling headphones, they're pretty spot on. And just my general warning about Bose cables, but ultimately I recommend to buy. I think these are awesome, and I am definitely not trading them in for the over-the-ear ones.
And you're grateful to your wife for giving them to you.
Yeah, she did a fantastic job this year.
She must have paid some attention. Yeah,
she was very proud of herself.
She
on this
knew
one.
what you wanted.
I know.
Thank you, Jason Howell.
She knew a musician might want good headphones. That's.
I'm always borrowing her over-the-ear noise-canceling headphones.
Oh,
she's like, I want mine back here.
So this was really a
now
defensive
we
move.
know.
She's like,
It's a defensive
stop
move.
touching my
We
headphones.
understand. Thank you, Jason Howell, the host of All About Android, is coming up later tonight. And,
That's
of
right.
course, TNT Tech News Today, every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific. We have a review from Chad Johnson of a telephone. We seem to get all the waterproof phones. I think ever since I ruined my iPhone by dunking it, companies want to prove to us they can handle the twit treatment. Let's see what Chad thought of the Verizon Kyocera Hydro Elite. Chad?
Hey, Chad here with Twit and Before You Buy, and today I am reviewing the Kyocera Hydra Elite phone. This is on Verizon Wireless. This is an LTE 4G phone. Currently, it is running for free on contract and $349.99 off contract. It has a 4.3-inch display coming in at 1280 by 720 pixels. If you do the math, that is 342 pixels per inch. The battery inside here is a 21 milliamp hour battery. I've used this phone for about 3 weeks now as my main phone, and I can say that battery life, I was actually pretty astounded with it. I was able to easily pull a full day's work out of it, and sometimes I'd even get a day and a half if I didn't charge overnight. Inside, this phone is sporting a dual-core 1.5 gigahertz Snapdragon processor, 1.5 gigabytes of RAM, and built-in storage coming in at 16 gigabytes. This does have a slot for a micro SD card, so you can upgrade this up to 32 additional gigabytes. As far as the speed of the phone, it's decent. Day-to-day operations, completely normal. As far as the camera, on the back it has an 8 megapixel camera. This also has a single LED flash, and then on the front there is a 1.3 megapixel camera. This phone can record 1080p video at 30 frames a second. I was not astounded with the front-facing or back-facing camera. These are just sort of normal cell phone cameras. You're not going to find anything truly amazing on the Kyocera Hydra. Some other features is that right now the operating system is at 4.1 Jelly Bean, so we are a few versions behind. There is a small skin on this phone. You can see in the drop-down shade they've added a few extra buttons. A Wi-Fi connect and your settings icon is different. In general, I didn't find this to be too outrageous or too in the way. The phone does have wireless charging and NFC, so there's some nice wireless features with that. Bluetooth 4, that sort of thing. And also, this is a waterproof phone, up to 3 feet in water for up to 30 minutes. And they've done a few nice things with that, is that there's no extra covers that you have to remove. The back battery casing does have a small seal around, but that's non-intrusive. And the fact that there are no covers to get at either the micro USB port or the headphone jack at the top is really nice. They've also done something interesting. If you look really closely, you'll notice that there is no speaker grill for the top of the phone. That's because this uses a bone conductive speaker in the top. This works so well that I didn't even notice that it was a bone conductive speaker. You can still hear the phone a few inches away from your ear, like you would expect with a normal phone. And when you put it up against your ear, it could be just on the flesh of the ear or on your cheek. Truly, it just feels like a normal old speaker. The glass on this phone is a little bit disappointing. It smudges incredibly easily, and also along the edge of the glass, the plastic side of the phone does raise quite a bit, where you can easily feel it with your fingers. It can actually kind of rub up against your ear if you're on a long phone conversation, and generally I just didn't like the fact that it was a raised side. You can easily catch it with your fingernail right there. For the pros, I would have to say that I like the price, coming in at free on contract. I also like the fact that it's waterproof, up to 3 feet for up to 30 minutes, and I was really impressed with the battery life of this phone. On the cons, general construction feels a little bit lackluster, with the glass on the front being smudged incredibly easily, the ridge of plastic along the screen, and the back is kind of this hard plastic back, which just feels cheap overall. This is a little bit of a slower device with, I'm worried about future-proofing, that your phone may become very sluggish in the future, and you are running an outdated version of the operating system, and I don't suspect that it will be updated anytime soon. Finally, wasn't really impressed with either of the cameras on this phone. So, for the Kyocera Hydra Elite on Verizon Wireless, free on contract, $350 off contract. Buy, try, don't buy. I'm going to say try, with a strong recommendation. Close to buy, except that it is in the mid-range phone area. So a strong recommendation, but still a try. Go in and use it, pick up the phone, feel how it is, check it out in a Verizon store near you. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Chad Johnson for Twit and Before You Buy.
I'm surprised this is waterproof, because, you know, it seems like it's got open connectors and stuff like that. But, hey, did he jump in the water with it? I missed that part of the review.
Chad, did you jump in the pool? In the next one.
A try on the Kyocera Hydro Elite. We'll just...
There we go.
I've had enough of that. I'm not going to dump it in water. I don't know if we've paid for it. Shannon Morse is here. She's our... By the way, Chad produces all our great shows, does the hosts OMG Chad, OMG Craft, I'm sorry, the Minecraft show that we do. And also This Week in YouTube with the birthday boy. Happy birthday, Lamar Wilson. Aww. And happy birthday, Oren Burke, by the way,
That's
our
right.
camera
It's
operator.
Burke's birthday.
Happy birthday, Burke.
Birthday.
There he is, waving at the camera. Shannon Morse is here. She produces this show and joins us every week with great reviews. We've made you the queen of the cheap laptop.
Thank you.
Yeah, once again, another
I'm the queen of being cheap.
inexpensive.
I don't know if you want that title.
This is the Lenovo. Now, Lenovo has a high-end line, the ThinkPad line, and then they have a less expensive line. This is the Flex 14. Starts at $455. That's pretty inexpensive.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. So the cheapest option comes with a little 3 processor. So, you know, it's not bad, but it could be better.
What do you have in
The
there?
one I have is $799. This one has an i5 4th generation processor, so it's up to speed and it's very fast. It's very responsive as well with the touchscreen. It also has 8 gigs of RAM instead of 4, 128 gig solid state drive. Did I say that right? Yeah, I did. So I was like, what?
SSD.
What did I just say?
Yeah.
And then it also has Bluetooth 4.0 and wireless, of course. Now, the battery on this was pretty darn good. I was very impressed with it, given that this is under $1,000. It can last up to 7 hours with pure video playback.
That's nice.
That's
good.
not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all. However, one thing I did not like was the webcam on this guy. Even though it is a 720p webcam, it was not that great because it's only 1 megapixel.
Right.
Woohoo. So you can make like Skype calls with it and things like that, but taking pictures with it, it's very fuzzy, so it's not that great. This, I like to consider calling it the younger brother, and I call it a brother, not a sister, because it doesn't come in pink, of the Yoga. So we did review the Yoga. The Yoga was the one that has 4 different ways that you can set it up, called modes. There was the regular laptop mode. There's the tent mode, which is standing it up on 2 sides. It also had a tablet mode, and then it had the display mode. So this one only has 2 modes. So it has the regular laptop mode, but you can also turn it around.
No, don't do that. You're going to break the hinge.
That's cute.
Like
Oh, and you put the
so.
keyboard face down, and now it's just basically a tablet on a stand.
Yeah, so this is really good for, it also has a nice physical Windows button right there, which I
Is there
really
something
like.
keeping the keys from
There
getting
is.
pushed?
So if you look at this,
Oh, there's a lip
this
there.
lip right here is just thick enough to keep the keys from sitting directly on a table. So it does keep those nice and safe and sound whenever you do stick it in display mode. I actually do like this display mode. It's very nice for just, you know, making Skype calls, or if you want to do some social networking, something that doesn't really involve the keyboard. So you can just sit there and go like this, back and forth. And since the touchscreen is very responsive, I had no problems with it. I actually did not miss tablet mode at all, but a lot of people would probably consider that a con, given tablet mode would be probably a lot easier to just bend it backwards and then sit there with your thumbs and move around. So I'll move it back to the regular mode.
So it's kind of
laptop
yoga
mode.
light. It doesn't do it quite as
Yes.
many positions.
So that's why
Like
they call
me
it the
in yoga
flex.
class.
It can only flex back and forth, and that's
basically
it.
it. No
It also-
downward dog for me.
Downward Leo.
It feels nice and sturdy, so it wiggles just a little bit, but once you put it in its place, it doesn't move around very much. It has nice rubber bottoms to it. The top is nice and rubberized, so you don't have any problems there. It does pick up some scratches. You'll notice a few scratches here and there because it is a review one. You know, lots of people have tested this out. And it comes in 2 different colors. There's this gray color along the side. There's also an orange version. So no pink, unfortunately, for me.
Orange is weird enough. That's
I actually like the orange one. I
Yeah.
saw that at a PR meeting with Lenovo, and I was like, wow, that orange is
bright.
very pretty. Yeah, it almost gives it kind of a gaming laptop feel, so I really liked it personally. It is 4 pounds, so it's heavier. You're going to notice that you won't want to keep it in your bag for a long time because it is very heavy. And also, the resolution on this guy is rather low compared to other 14-inch laptops.
No, tell me it's not 1366.
It is.
It is.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
killing
And you know, I think the
1366
world's
by
moved on. Even
768.
Microsoft now isn't doing that anymore. On the
Yeah,
Surface,
which
so.
was very unfortunate. And even the brightness on this is as bright as it gets. It doesn't get any brighter than that. And if I compare that to, for example, and I'll just pull up my desktop on here. If I compare
your
that
Mac
to
is
my
much
Mac,
brighter. Yeah.
Yeah.
way bright screen, way big difference between the two. So unfortunately, it is a little bit lower on that end. So I'll go ahead and pull up my pros and cons for you. I have just a few to go through. So the pros on this, loud and clear speakers. I really like the speakers on these. They're located on the bottom, and they get really loud. I like that. It basically just brings the sound out straight towards you instead of muffling it at the bottom, since it's right on the curve. So not bad there. Dual mode design is really cool. Excellent battery life at 7 hours is really nice. The touchpad is a little strange. So on the cons, when I click on this, you'll notice that it deepens really far. It feels like it's hollow underneath the right and left click. So down here, you can see how far I have to press my finger down, and you have
And
to
it looks
press
like
it
the board's
very hard.
buckling a little bit.
Yeah,
that's not
it
the sturdiest
looks
thing
really
ever.
strange. So that bothered me a lot because I don't click that hard. So I ended up just using the regular touchpad click whenever I needed to pull up something. So I would just click up here instead of using the physical right and left buttons. Very weird for me. Also, of course, the resolution and the brightness on this, and there's no tablet mode option, which may be a problem for some people. But personally, if I was looking for a lower end product, a lower end laptop,
maybe, you know?
yeah, it's a really good machine. It's very sturdy, it's very fast, so I would definitely give it a buy.
A buy for the Lenovo Flex 14, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Shannon Morse.
It's a good product. I liked it.
Very nice job. We're going to wrap things up. By the way, I should mention all of our reviews appear on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com/beforeyoubuy, each review is individually put up there if you want to share it with a friend, a family member looking for a laptop for a student, for instance. You can do that. You can also email Shannon, byb@twit.tv, and let us know what you'd like to see us review. We're going to wrap things up here with Radford Castro. He is our Director of Engineering. Not here today. He's on the beach enjoying the sunshine. He never gets out much. No, I don't know where he is. But anyway, he did a tape review for us of a phone from Verizon, the LG Lucid 2. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Radford Castro, and this is a review of the LG Lucid 2. LG's Lucid 2 is a budget Android phone, so let's face it, if you want a cheap phone, you're going to have to give it a few finer things. Fortunately, the Lucid 2 has a decent design by combining both curved and straight edges, with a sprinkling of silver lining on the sides. So the Lucid 2 is most definitely not a looker, but maybe she has a sense of humor? Not quite, but she is comfortable to hold, and by that, I mean it can cover a wide range of hand sizes from dainty to daunting. All of this is wrapped up with a carbon fiber-like textured battery cover, making for an improved grip, but the tiny ridges can get crud for those with sweaty palms. Below the display are the capacitive buttons for back, home, recent apps, and settings, with the obligatory micro USB port. And now that we're talking about buttons, the left edge has the volume rocker, while the right side has the power lock key, all of which are easy to feel for since they aren't raised. On the top, you have the 3.5mm headset jack and the 5-megapixel camera and LED flash along with it. Spec-wise, the Lucid 2 is a bit lower than what you'd expect with budget phones. It packs with it 540 by 960 pixels at 4.3 inches using an IPS LCD. The horsepower pushes dual-core Snapdragon S4s with about 1 GB of RAM and 8 GB built in. Thankfully, you'll find that when you're removing the battery cover, you'll find access to the 4G SIM slot and the micro SDHC card slot that can extend it up to 64 GB. And of course, the battery itself is pretty large for a phone this size when you realize that it's pushing 2460 mAhs. On the software side, LG is at it again with nice animations thanks to the Optimus UI, and comes with 4 themes: Optimus, Adventure, Fancy, and Monsterland. The themes also change the icons, which is a nice touch, but can feel a bit inconsistent with the rest of the other standard Android icons. It does a good job making the interface attractive, but I would debate over how easy it is to use. When you have 7 home screens and an app drawer and some weird organizing that LG does, it kind of looks a little weird. For example, the settings icon does not take you to settings. Instead, it takes you to rearrange the icons. The same can be said for the camera when you're actually messing around with the live effects. The camera has a decent quality at 5 megapixels. Here's a couple of shots that we took in a variety of settings and lighting scenarios. The flash is also horrid, but again, this is a budget phone. Additionally, we also took the Lucid 2 for a spin on its video capabilities. The nice thing about the Lucid 2 is that it records the video in HD. That's about it. It has a hard time trying to adjust with lighting. It can't focus digitally. Now, as for the pros and cons, the pros, it has a clean design, it's light, and it's cheap. For the cons, it's weak on the camera, horsepower, and there's just better alternatives out there. So, my final verdict, I'm giving this a don't buy. Why? Even for a budget phone, there are just better alternatives out there. Even for something that is free, you can get something for 20 bucks for the same manufacturer called the Enact by LG. And there's also the Galaxy S3, the iPhone 4S, even the ATIV S by Samsung, all of which are budget, free, or 20 bucks, all under the same carrier as well. I'm Radford Castro for Before You Buy, and this is the review of the LG Lucid 2.
Don't buy on the Lucid 2. Thank you, Radford, our engineering director here at TWIT. We thank you all for being here. We do Before You Buy every Tuesday afternoon, about 4:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 23:30 UTC. Please stop by and watch us. But if you can't, we have on-demand audio and video, as I mentioned, on YouTube, also at our site, twit.tv/BYB, and, of course, wherever podcasts are aggregated and distributed to your devices. Thanks for joining us. Thank you to our reviewers, too, to Radford Castro and Shannon Morse, to Father Robert Balliser, Chad Johnson and Jason Howell. We'll see you next time. Remember, you got to watch before you buy. Bye-bye.